Alrighty, welcome back to High on the Hog. I'm your host, Sari Dillinger, alongside my dad, co-host John Dillinger. We're here with another one, an exciting one at that.
Oh, we got a good show
Got a
for
good
you
show for you
today.
today. Got a dang good show. Uh, Arkansas, Texas A&M. We're going to Jerry World for the final time.
Thank God.
Another home game for each team, but specifically for the Hogs, it'll help the most. But going there for the last time to whoop on some Aggie tail. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, me too. I always like playing Texas A&M, even though we've not been super successful as of late. And I know we'll get into that later, but it's a old school rivalry. Rivalry ended around 91, and then got it back up and going in 09, and it's been a long-standing rivalry, and it's one that we need to get flipped around and headed back in the right direction.
Yeah, and hopefully we can keep that lead we got, I think. All right. Let's get right into it. Before we get into it, I'm sure everybody knows, but Rashad Dubinion kicked off the team.
Oh, he's off?
Well, ain't that what suspended
indefinitely, yeah, but he's not officially off the team yet.
I thought that's what that meant.
No,
indefinitely means without time.
Yeah, that just means that he could be brought back on the team, but right now he's suspended for an indefinite amount of time.
Okay.
So it sounds like there may be some way he could get back into the fold, but violating of team rules, he's just been suspended right now until Sam decides whatever he has to do in order to get back in the good graces.
All right, so
and he might not be able to, but no, he's not totally off the team.
Okay, I thought that's what that meant. That's on me then. And then also Hugh Freeze was quoted, and this is
what I'm glad you was getting into. I forgot. Yeah, I wanted to get into this.
Quote, I love Sam Pittman, and I hope he wins the rest of his games, but I'm telling you the hard truth is we play 9 more times, we'd beat them 9 times, and that's what's hard to take, end quote. How do you feel about that?
He's a 9 kind of fool is what he is.
It's exactly what he is.
Auburn, you can't go, with last year's team or the year before or anything like that. Of course, the year before we, put the whooping on them. So, no. If these two teams played 9 more times, Auburn might win 3 of them.
I don't even think. I think if we played 100 times, they might get 2 off. We
we
own them.
Now you sound like Hugh Freeze.
We own them.
No, Arkansas was the better team in this
undoubtedly.
Game. And if they played 10 times this season, Arkansas would win 7 of the 10.
That's definitely fair to say.
And that is him trying to keep his job is what he's doing there. Oh no, we're obviously the better team. We just had a bad day or whatever. No, Auburn's got
a lot of bad days coming
all over the field this year. Now they're set up recruiting wise. They're going to be okay. Maybe not next year unless they really do some good stuff in the portal. But the year after, when all these young guys that are all these 4 and 5 star recruits.
Number 8th recruiting class.
They recruit well. And Hugh Freeze always recruits well. Of course, he's shady. And for him to be, I'm a pastor. I've been in ministry for 20-something years. I liked him, back before I found out, how easily his character, can be bought. Everybody knows what was going on at Ole Miss, getting hookers for – the players and stuff like that. There's always been cheating going on, always been paying players.
Yeah, but nothing like.
Yeah, when you're doing things like that,
weird. You're an interesting person, and
so Hugh Freeze needs to jump in a river.
Yeah,
I don't want him to drown. I just want him to get wet and look ridiculous.
I think shout out Chicken Timachinga Changa on our comment. He was calling him out for them call girls.
Timmy Changa.
Yeah, he was calling them out on us call girls.
Extra Emmy in there.
I like the way it sounded. So, here's my bold prediction. Auburn is going to finish their season out 2-6 in the remaining games. I've got Vandy pulling the upset. So that's my.
I think Vanderbilt will beat them.
I do. Right now I think Oklahoma's gonna. So
you got them going 4-8? Because they're 2-2,
they're
right?
2-2 right now. I've got them winning 4 games. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about what I had them. Maybe 5 if they could maybe pull up that upset.
Yeah, but they've got a tough schedule. I'll give it to them.
They've got a real tough schedule. So.
But yeah, I got Vanderbilt winning that game because Vanderbilt's due. They've done 2 good and almost beat Missouri, some good teams. So I've got them pulling that.
Well, they look like an SEC team.
They
this
do.
year.
They do.
They
I'm
really
proud
look
of
like
Vandy.
a tough school.
I hope they win out their schedule because we don't play them. All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna skip over those notes because you said you wanted to do that at the end. All right, so you're not gonna do no statistics, really?
No, I mean I'm gonna
just a
you go over whatever you want to, and I'll
all right.
some stuff.
I'm trying to keep this podcast short. I've been going over a little too much, so
just a little.
I'm gonna do what I can, guys. I love talking football. I love talking Razorback, so it's hard to stop. But all right, Aggie offense. Aggies ranked 53rd in total offense, 116th in passing, so that's not that good. 8th in rushing though, so they're a really good running team. They average 256 yards per carry on the ground, whereas Arkansas's overall defense is poor, ranking 57th overall, allowing 325 yards a game, but a strong Russian defense, ranking 14th, allowing just 82 yards a game, taking away A&M's strong suit. So I like that matchup there. I think we have one of the best. I mean, not even I think we have one of the best running defenses in the country. And so I think we're gonna do that pretty well. Offensively, I think we can look for another ground and pound type of game from Arkansas, taking advantage of that matchup with Arkansas's very strong rushing attack type offense and the Aggies' very, very poor rushing defense. I think Jaquinton Jackson's set to have one of his best games yet, and look for Talon to bounce back and prove to not just the fans, but I want to see him prove to himself that he's the guy for this job. He didn't have a great game last week. He threw handful of interceptions, a couple of them, and he just didn't have great statistics. So, gonna hope that he can get to where he wants to be. I'd like to see more consistent from his throwing standpoint because we see the potential. Now let's just make it more reliable. And as always, I mean, Armstrong and Satania, they're going to have some flashy plays. But let's watch for Hogs. He's been really good, as a tight end. He's just not gotten those statistics.
Well.
Yeah. Pittman said he's playing his best football. It's just not on the stat board, which is, I mean, from a tight end perspective, that's fine.
Well,
but
they're keying on him some because they know how dangerous he is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one thing. Another
Hunter
thing,
Henry type player to me.
I think Talon is still getting comfortable going through his progression.
Yeah.
He knows Andrew Armstrong will catch the ball.
Yeah.
So
no matter where he puts
it. Goes to him a lot. He goes to Broden a lot. And look, I like Broden. I hope Broden gets it fixed because he's 6'7" or something like that.
Yeah, 6 a lot.
Super athletic, can jump. Talon likes to throw high.
Yeah, very, very
so
high.
he throws a lot to his 2 tallest receivers. I think that's why maybe Satania doesn't get as many looks because Satania's small.
Very good player, though,
and
obviously.
then Luke's kind of in between. He's a big guy, but he's not 6'7". And he's also, like 4th when you're checking down.
Exactly.
If it's not a design, target for the tight end, he's going to be like, 4th to get down. So I don't think Talon makes it that far down. I think he looks at his first 1 or 2 guys. If that 3rd guy is not wide open, he's running or throwing the ball away or taking a sack.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the better Talon gets, the more comfortable he gets, then I think Luke will start getting a lot more targets in his direction. But, I mean, that's just what I see. I think because Bobby Petrino wants to get him the ball.
No doubt about it. He wants to get his best players.
Luke Haas wants the ball.
Yep.
It's just Talon getting comfortable and getting to that point.
He's a little bit too. It feels like to me almost as if he doesn't even allow the pocket to settle. As soon as he gets the ball in his hands, I feel like he immediately starts running back and going left or right and rolling out. Like, I don't think he stands in the pocket for more than a split second.
I think our pass blocking has been the weaker part of our offensive line play. So when they lose containment, on those edges, and he starts feeling that pressure, he's going to start, rolling and trying to make something happen with his feet.
Yeah,
and he doesn't necessarily stop looking for the pass. He throws a lot of balls on the run.
Threw that 60-yard bomb to Satania.
Yeah, but most of the time at that point in time, they're in a scramble drill, and whoever is open, and he's going to see the taller guys, I just think.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And I think he's a little scared of throwing interceptions, so he wants to throw it high and just hope you can go up and get it.
Yeah.
The only problem is sometimes when he throws high, he throws over a guy into the, safety's hands or the cornerback's hands, that's behind him. So
or
we don't want
to
that
the fans. He likes
well,
to
that's
throw it
fine. If he throws it away, throw it away.
Yeah.
Just don't throw it to the other team.
Yes. All right. So defensively for Arkansas, we're gonna try to continue owning that line of scrimmage like we have been, and dominating rushing attacks. Like I said, Arkansas has got one of the best rushing defenses in the country and definitely the SEC. So we're gonna. I would like to see us continue to tighten up secondary because we looked really, really good against Auburn. For those 4 or 5 interceptions or whatever. But I'd like to see us just more of a. We're not going to let you get 5-6 yards every time you throw a short pass. I'd like to see us break those up a little bit more.
So I believe we're going to get Clark back this week.
That's going to be big.
Jalen Braxton should be back this week.
Was he not in the game against Auburn?
I don't believe so. I think Braxton, Clark, and
might have been Jaden Johnson. Was he the one who got an interception?
He got an interception.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So Braxton comes back, Clark comes back. Hopefully both those guys are back. Jaden Johnson's been playing well.
Danico
Slaughter's been playing well, and then TJ Metcalf has
decided that he's just going to own the SEC. Yeah,
so he's a SEC Defensive Player of the Week this week. I think our secondary is going to pick up when those guys and
no doubt about it.
No doubt they're going to rotate. I don't think Clark's going to play as much as he used to, but I think that's good for him because he would get. He's a step slow to be an SEC defensive back. But he's got great ball skills. He's a ball hawk. So you got to have him on the field. But if he can stay fresh by splitting some time there instead of having to be relied on, they won't be able to pick on him so much late in the fourth quarter when the legs are not what they are in the first quarter.
Just a slow country boy, but, I mean, he's a really good play. Just slower than –
a little step, maybe a half step slower than some of the other backs in the league.
But, just continue tightening up that secondary. Letting up big plays is still a lingering problem. It's not as many, but we still had 2 really big plays that Auburn was allowed to pretty much bust up the coverage and stuff. So tighten that up. Watch for Metcalf to just decide that, he really did decide that I'm gonna turn myself into an NFL prospect this season. And so I'm really liking him. Continue to watch him show out as well as Slaughter, and we can only hope Landon Jackson can finally prove himself to be that first-round draft hopeful and get to the quarterback a couple times, whether Wegman comes in or not.
Stripping, ripping, tipping.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was doing all them ippins.
I mean, he got into the end zone and ripped that out close to it. So, in short, Hogs by 90. I got us I'll give my prediction now and then let you speak a little bit. Hogs, I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, 35-21. I think Texas A&M, he is first-year head coach, right? Mm-hmm. Jeff Lebby or Mike Elko?
No, this is Elko.
Mike Elko, yeah. Jeff Lebby's Mississippi State. Sorry, Elko. And I like Mike Elko. I watched his interview or, catch up or whatever, and he was saying good things about Pittman and Petrino and the Hogs. And so I like the guy. I just think Arkansas's 2 touchdowns better. So 35-21 is my final prediction in Jerry World, Arlington, Texas Cowboy Stadium, whatever you want to call it.
You said we're going to end it
Hogs
on
by
win.
2.
All right. So coming into this week, I had us coming in 3-1. I had us losing to Auburn, but beating Oklahoma State. So I had those 2 flip, but it's all right. I'm still 3-1 coming in.
Still can go 8-4.
I had us beating A&M. That's what I had predicted.
Me as well.
Before looking at all the stats and all of the recent games between A&M and the Hogs. Let me say this. The Hogs lead the all-time series 42-34 to 3. Now, if you're an SEC fan, if you're a younger fan, if you're 25 or under, you may think that Texas A&M is an SEC powerhouse, and they've always been a dominant team in this league. Fact of the matter is, when I was growing up, Texas A&M was an afterthought. They were little brother to Texas, but they wasn't even the second or third. Maybe they were the third. Excuse me. Maybe they were looked at as the third team in the Southwest Conference. I mean, it was Texas, then Arkansas, then, whoever else was vying that year. Prior to joining the SEC in 2012, Arkansas dominated this series 41-21.
Oh, wow.
To 3.
Almost double.
The rivalry ended in 91. It began again in 09 with what was called the Southwest Classic. And, they were in the Big 12, and we was wanting to get that old rivalry renewed. Both teams were. It was going to benefit Texas A&M by getting to play an SEC team. It was benefiting us by getting to play not necessarily a Big 12 team, but getting to play in Jerry World every year.
Big for recruiting.
Big for recruiting. It was good for both teams. Arkansas got out to a 3-0 lead coming back into the renewed rivalry. It was Hogs. And then 2012, A&M joins the SEC. And I remember saying, no, do not let Texas A&M join the SEC. All it was going to do was help Texas A&M.
Wasn't going to benefit the SEC.
Wasn't going to. Yeah, I mean, it was going to hurt the Hogs.
Yeah.
Because,
it would benefit the SEC. They got lots and lots of money.
So what made us special in the Southwest Conference was we were the only non-Texas school.
If you don't know,
Texas schools in Arkansas.
Yeah, if you're a young fan, it was 7 Texas schools and Arkansas.
And we were special because of that. And then since we joined the SEC, which I've never been a huge fan of, I thought we would fit better in the Big 12 back then. The reason why being in the SEC is good is because of money.
That's the only reason.
But I always felt like Arkansas had enough money anyways. We got billionaires all over the place. But I can understand from a financial position being in the SEC, it's the cream of the crops where you want to be. Even the Vanderbilts and the Mississippi States of the world are fine being the bottom dwellers here because being a bottom dweller in the SEC is better than being middle of the pack or
top
whatever.
Feeder, honestly,
in a lot of the other leagues.
Yeah.
If you put Vanderbilt in the Big 12, they'd be middle of the pack every year. They would not be bottom feeder. You put Arkansas or Auburn over there, and they would dominate that league. You know. But in 2012, when they joined the SEC, what they did was they jumped Texas. By being an SEC, it jumped their recruiting, and they went on a 9 straight win against us in this rivalry. Yeah, streak. Longest streak in the rivalry. I think prior to that, Texas A&M had never had a streak over 2.
Yeah.
We had like a 6-game streak at the most, I think.
I could have swore we wanted to snap the streak to stop them from having the longest streak. I thought we had a 9-win streak too.
I don't think so, but
Maybe
if I'm wrong, y'all let us know in the comments.
I always get that stuff wrong, so it's probably me. But
and so since the Ags joined the SEC, they've went on a 11-1 run. Being the last year in Jerry World, being pretty much a home game for them, I'm going to pick the Hogs by 7.
You had me thinking that whole time.
Give me them Hogs.
Whole time. I'm like, you're really pissing to see
No.
Aggies are beating us?
We're going to beat them by 7. I want to say 10, but I know it's always a close game.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to
I'm
the
just
end,
high
probably.
on a hog. That's why I put.
But, yeah, no, I've got the Hogs.
You Pat McAfee'd us there.
I got the Hogs by 7. I think it's going to be 28-21 would be my prediction. Looking at A&M, they're not impressive to me. They lost to Notre Dame, who turned around and lost to Northern Illinois the next week.
Notre Dame's not a good team.
They barely beat Bowling Green last week.
Barely. 26-20. Didn't even beat them by a full touchdown.
So I think we match up well against them where we're strong. They're weak, as you pointed out, with our rushing offense, their rushing defense. All I think we need to do is have Talon have a good game, and I think we could win by whatever you said, 90 or 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Hogs by 90 always.
Give me them Hogs.
High on the Hog. You had us going there. I think we all thought you was fixing to say we're losing, but no, there ain't no way.
I leak horse sold everybody.
Yeah. You Paul Feinbaum straight out the casket. But, yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say. Hogs by 90, Hogs by 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown. Doesn't matter. Hogs are winning.
If we win by 1,
it's
I'll
a win.
Be happy.
It's a win. A win's a win. An ugly win's better than a pretty loss. Key to the game is Texas can't, or I'm gonna call them Texas because I hate Texas and I think they should be better. Anyways, now Texas A&M has no running defense. Run that ball all over them. Put the Heisman winning. We've got a Heisman winner on our team this year. Should have been Darren McFadden, but this will be our first, and I'm fine with that. Put Jaquindon Jackson in and let him have his way with the Aggies.
Feed him early. Feed him often. A good dose. He's going to come out a lot because that's just what he does. He wants to keep himself fresh. Get Braylon Russell running.
Love Braylon Russell.
Hill running.
Redshirt freshman, by the way.
Let all 3 of those guys get their snaps, but feed Double J because he is a stud on that team. But my 2 keys of victory is going to be the same as it was last week: penalties and turnovers. I think we've been playing very disciplined penalty-wise. We need to do that again.
Yeah, I think we had 4 penalties last game for 20 yards.
And I'd like to have
something.
0 turnovers in this game, but we definitely got to have far fewer
less than
2. The Aggies. But here's the thing. I feared Auburn worse than I feared the Aggies.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Freeze is just shifty, recruiting and in the game, calling plays. And he's a lot like playing Lane Kiffin. You never know what's going to happen. With Elko, he's a defensive guy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go in there and win.
Well, all right. Tune in Saturday to see if we were right or if we're completely wrong. And we'll give our instant reaction afterthoughts. I got to shout out you guys for the love on the Auburn instant reaction. It's been our best performing video today. I think a little over half a K. So video's performing well and had a bunch of new commenters on there. Shout out to the roofing guy and the rest of the group. So
all you guys that commented so far, comment on this video, like it, share it.
Absolutely. Subscribe.
Of course, as always, brought to you by Shelter Insurance, Dillinger Agency out of Harrisburg, Arkansas, licensed in
Missouri, Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Greatest state on God's green earth. So
look, handpicked straight there.
All your insurance needs, auto, home, life,
God in all of his infinite wisdom and glory looked at this infinite universe of ever-expandingness and said, there needs to be an Arkansas. And he put one right here in America.
He said, I want them to call them Hogs.
Whoa, dang pig, baby. Thank y'all. God bless. Go Hogs.
Jesus saves.
Whoa, pig.